remains in place while the ruling is appealed. U.S. District Judge Reed O'Connor ruled Friday that last year's tax overhaul knocks the constitutional foundation from under the Health Care Act dubbed Obamacare. Supporters of the law immediately said they will appeal. State Representative Mickey Michaud is North Carolina's longest-serving State House member. After 43 years in public service, the 88-year-old is retiring at the end of the year. In 1972, Michaud became one of 3 black people to integrate the General Assembly since Reconstruction and founded the state's Legislative Black Caucus. On Thursday, colleagues called him an icon and hero for Durham. Senator Floyd McKissick tells WTVD.
Somebody who was a champion in leading access to the legislature on behalf of African Americans, not just in this community, but for the entire state of North Carolina.
The GOP candidate in a disputed North Carolina congressional race says it was his decision to hire an operative who is now a person of interest in an investigation into how absentee ballots were handled. Republican Mark Harris confirmed to WBTV in Charlotte on Friday that he hired McCrae Dowless for his campaign. But Harris also said he had no idea Dowless was doing anything wrong. You're listening to NCN News.
What's the best-selling small tractor in America? Kubota's BX Series Compact. Now get a BX 1880 for as low as $99 a month with 0% APR financing for 84 months. Now through December 31st, 2018. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
Basketball season is here, and so is the 2018 ACC Basketball Preview Magazine. You can find it on newsstands everywhere and online right now at ACCSports.com. Get the scoop on all the teams with predictions from the experts, recruiting news, and rankings of the best ACC players and teams. No other magazine dedicates 10 pages to each ACC school, each jam-packed with stats and information. Want a copy shipped to you? It's easy. Just go to ACCSports.com and click on the Basketball Preview banner.
Kubota's L2501 DT packs powerful performance in one easy-to-operate compact tractor. Now get payments as low as $135 a month with 0% APR financing for 84 months. Now through December 31st, 2018. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
While people in the Northeast enjoyed milder temperatures Friday, a strong windstorm left thousands of people in the dark in the Pacific Northwest. Reporter Jessica O has more from Seattle.
We heard this great crash, boom, and much to my surprise, there's a huge tree on our house.
Wind gusts were so strong in North Seattle, a 50-foot tree fell on Karen Chase's house. Her backyard is a mess. That tree crushed a fence when it toppled.
Shocking, completely shocking and scary.
But she says it could be worse.
We are extremely lucky because we're able to be in our house. We have electricity.
2 Wake County men are facing charges for allegedly engaging in a sexual act with a 14-year-old boy they met online. Ryan Maluski, 33, of Apex, and Justin Thomas, 37, of Raleigh, are both charged with statutory sex offense with a child and indecent liberties with a child. According to the arrest warrants, the offenses happened July through October of this year. A demonstration Friday morning at UNC Chapel Hill coincided with a meeting the University Board of Governors at the flagship campus to discuss Chancellor Carol Folt's plan to construct a building to house the Silent Sam Confederate statue. Anna Richards is president of the Chapel Hill Carborough NAACP.
Students are exercising their right to free speech to let the Board of Governors know that they strongly disapprove of a plan to build a $5.3 million building to house a Confederate monument, to create a special riot police force, which will only encourage and continue the kind of actions that we see here today.
Nancy Wilson has died. The self-described song stylist, whose versatile voice made her a top-selling artist and concert performer, died after a long illness at her home in the California desert near Joshua Tree National Park. She was 81. Alyssa
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Healthcare hanging in the balance. A federal judge in Texas ruling late Friday that last year's tax overhaul makes the Affordable Care Act unconstitutional. Supporters of the law say they'll appeal. President Trump on Twitter celebrating the ruling. ABC News legal analyst Royal Oak says it sets the stage for a bigger legal battle.
The 8-year titanic legal battle over the legality of Obamacare continues. This decision won't be the last word, of course. It's the ruling of a single federal court trial judge, but views of the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals and possibly a Supreme Court featuring 2 Trump appointees could eliminate or change the nature of the Affordable Care Act.
The so-called Obamacare remains in effect for now. Today is the final day for Americans to enroll in the program. Former President Barack Obama releasing a video earlier in the week on the deadline.
Former President Barack Obama is reminding Americans in a recent video to sign up for health insurance in 2019.
It's important to have health insurance in case, God forbid, you get really sick or hurt yourself next.
ABC's Stephanie Ramos in Washington. President Trump has picked a new chief of staff. ABC's Jonathan Karl has details.
Acting Chief of Staff, it's Mick Mulvaney. Mulvaney is currently the director of the Office of Management and Budget. He comes to this job with real political experience, 6 years as a member of Congress from South Carolina, a very conservative one. In fact, he was a founding member of the Freedom Caucus. There were several other candidates who interviewed for this job, including Chris Christie, who pulled himself out of the running.
In Paris, demonstrators are marching for the 5th straight weekend.
President Macron has indicated that he's willing to give way to some of the protesters' demands, but some of the Gilets jaunes say that these measures that he's announced recently don't go far enough, while some have indicated that they are willing to listen and talk with the government.
ABC's Julia McFarlane. You're listening to ABC News.
A good night's sleep starts with the right pillow. That's where MyPillow comes in, and we're excited to announce the new 4-pack special. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 4-pack special tab, and save 50% off the 4-pack, which includes 2 MyPillow premiums and 2 Go Anywhere pillows. Use promo code SKY at checkout or call 1-800-635-1825. That's 1-800-635-1825. Or go to MyPillow.com, click the 4-pack special tab, and use promo code SKY at checkout.
It's time to join the millions of people that meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Zoom gives you flawless video, crystal clear audio, and instant sharing across any mobile, tablet, or desktop device. But the best thing about Zoom? It just works. So ditch the distractions, join the movement, and meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Visit zoom.us to set up your free account today. That's zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
Homeland Security has launched an investigation into the death of a 7-year-old Guatemalan girl who died in U.S. custody after officials say she and her father crossed the border from Mexico to the U.S. illegally. Texas Congressman Beto O'Rourke visited migrants in Mexico waiting to apply for asylum in the U.S. and is now calling for an increased staffing at U.S. ports.
My hope is that McRae hasn't done anything wrong. I don't know that. I'm waiting for the investigators to make that clear, and that's.
Officials say Jacqueline Kyle McKinn was found unresponsive waiting on a bus and was airlifted to a hospital where she later died. In Alabama, an 89-year-old woman spent the night in jail this week. ABC's Todd Ant has details.
Odine Kleckler and her son were sent to a Clanton, Alabama jail for 30 days because they failed to adhere to a court order to clean up the appliances littering the yard outside their salvage shop. Clanton Mayor Billy Joe Driver had Kleckler released after one night.
I didn't want her in jail, just putting it like it is.
The mayor says Kleckler's son will stay in jail for 30 days, but she hopes he'll be released in time for Christmas.
There's been a lot of people, excuse me, come and let me know how they feel.
Friends and neighbors are organizing a day to clean up the property and bring it up to code. Todd Ant, ABC News.
This is ABC News.
Do you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes? The IRS has special programs in place that can eliminate or reduce your tax debt by thousands of dollars. With a call to ATA, you can stop the wage garnishments, levies, and tax liens now. The IRS is currently accepting reduced settlements and other favorable programs. You may qualify for substantial savings, so get the help you need. If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more, call ATA to see if you qualify. 800-805-1055. That's 800-805-1055. 800-805-1055.
I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Let the WCAB marketing team go to work for your business. It works. Call Tracy or Jim at 287-3356.
Come on into Oakland Feed and Seed and guess how many kernels of corn are in the jar. Exact guess wins $500 gift certificate. Closest guest wins $150 gift certificate, and next closest win a $50 gift certificate. Winners will be notified December 21st. Only one entry per day in store only. Let Scott and his team help you with your do-it-yourself pest control questions. They have the supplies. Oakland Feed and Seed is your propane refill station with the best prices. Deer corn, corn on the cob, and deer apples on sale right now at Oakland Feed and Seed, Oakland Road, Spindale.
And a reminder that Oakland Feed and Seed has plenty of snow sleds available, starting at $8.99 and up. They have plenty of ice melt and propane as well.
Good Saturday morning. A flash flood watch remains in effect through 5 p.m. this evening. We're expecting some patchy fog this morning, and rain is likely before lunchtime, and then the chance for showers will linger into the afternoon and evening. Highs today climb into the upper 40s to mid-50s, and by tonight, patchy fog and drizzle still possible with cloudy skies and lows in the low to mid-40s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with patchy fog early, and an isolated shower can't be ruled out with highs in the 50s. I'm Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
Well, I do have good news as we take a look at the week ahead, and that is that bright ball of fire in the sky will be back. Sunshine expected Monday, an afternoon high around 58. Sunny on Tuesday, a high of 54. Mostly sunny on Wednesday, a high around 54. And then a slight chance that we could pick up some rain toward the end of the week on Thursday night, and Friday. Otherwise, partly sunny Thursday, a high of 54, and then partly sunny on Friday with a high around 52. This morning, we have cloudy skies. We have light rain in the area and a little bit of drizzle currently here on Whiteside Road in Rutherfordton. Current temperature reading at the WCAB Radio Studios in Rutherfordton on Whiteside Road is 46 degrees on this Saturday morning, December 15th. It's time to take a look at our Saturday morning obituary announcements, and this morning I have 9 obituaries to report. 86-year-old Mrs. Pauline Hutchins of Rutherfordton passed away yesterday at Hospice House in Forest City. Arrangements are incomplete at this time. They will be announced by McMahon's Funeral Home and cremation services. McMahon's will be serving the family of Mrs. Pauline Hutchins of Rutherfordton. 66-year-old Texanne Smith Jolly of Rutherfordton passed away Saturday, December 8th at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills in Forest City. A native of Rutherford County, she worked as a beautician her entire career, retiring 6 years ago. Graduate of East Rutherford High, a member of the Bethany Baptist Church. Funeral service will be held this afternoon, beginning at 2 o'clock in the Bethany Baptist Church, with burial to follow in the church cemetery. Visitation will be held in the church sanctuary from 12:30 until 1:45 this afternoon prior to the funeral. Flowers will be accepted. Memorial contributions may be made to Hospice of the Carolina Foothills in Forest City or to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangements. An online guest registry available at pagetking.com. Paget and King serving the family, Mrs. Texanne Smith Jolly of Rutherfordton. 88-year-old Mrs. Margaret Ann Hines of Forest City passed away Tuesday at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills in Forest City. A native of Rutherford County, she worked for most of her life in textiles, a faithful member of the Henrietta First Baptist Church, where she served as librarian for many years. Funeral service will be held this afternoon, beginning at 3 o'clock at the First Baptist Church of Henrietta, the body to lie in state 30 minutes prior to the service. Entombment will follow in the Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery Mausoleum. Memorials may be made to the Henrietta First Baptist Church or to Hospice of the Carolina Foothills in Forest City. Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangements for Mrs. Margaret Ann Hines of Forest City. 96-year-old Mrs. Ruth Ellen Rumfelt Roop of Spindale passed away on Thursday while being cared for at the Holly Springs Retirement Home. She was a native of Rutherford County, a homemaker, member of the Fellowship Holiness Church in Spindale. Celebration of her life will be held this afternoon beginning at 3 o'clock at the Fellowship Holiness Church in Spindale. Family will be receiving friends prior to the service from 2 until 3 o'clock. Burial to follow in the Spindale City Cemetery. In lieu of flowers, memorials may be made to Hospice of the Carolina Foothills in Forest City. Online condolences may be made at crowmortuary.com. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Mrs. Ruth Ellen Rumfelt Roop of Spindale. 58-year-old Mr. Tony Joe Hamrick of Mooresboro passed away on Wednesday at his residence. A private graveside service will be held this afternoon. A celebration of life at 3 o'clock at the Eggers Funeral Home in Cliffside. Online condolences may be made at eggersfuneralhome.com. Arrangements entrusted to Eggers Funeral Home of Cliffside for Mr. Tony Joe Hamrick of Mooresboro. Ricky Maccabee of Rutherfordton passed away Tuesday at the Hospice House in Forest City. He was a native of Rutherford County, a U.S. Army veteran serving in the Vietnam War, a member of the Bear Creek Bible Church. A memorial service will be held tomorrow afternoon, beginning at 1 o'clock at the Bear Creek Baptist Church in Campobello, South Carolina. Memorials may be made to your local school's backpack program. Arrangements for Mr. Ricky Maccabee of Rutherfordton. 80-year-old Mr. J.C. Wishon of Forest City passed away Thursday at the Rutherford Regional Medical Center. He was a native of Rutherford County, worked for Mastercraft most of his life, was a past member of the Sandy Level Baptist Church. Funeral service will be held tomorrow afternoon, beginning at 3 o'clock at the Harrelson Funeral Home Chapel. Burial will follow in the Avondale Henrietta Caroline Cemetery. Family will be receiving friends this evening from 5 until 7 o'clock at the Harrelson Funeral Home. An online guest registry is available at harrelsonfuneralhome.com. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with the arrangements for Mr. J.C. Wishon of Forest City. 80-year-old Mr. William Spencer Parker of Bostic passed away Thursday at Willow Ridge. He was a native of Rutherford County and a retired mechanic. Family will be hosting a memorial service tomorrow afternoon, beginning at 3 o'clock at the Restoration Church on Garden Brook Drive in Forest City. Family will be receiving friends 1 hour prior to the service from 2 until 3 o'clock at the Restoration Church. Crow's Mortuary is serving the family of Mr. William Spencer Parker of Bostic. 85-year-old Mr. Gerald Allen Pendleton passed away Tuesday at Willow Ridge in Rutherfordton. Family will be holding a gathering at 2 o'clock Wednesday afternoon for family and friends in the activity room at the Willow Ridge Rehabilitation and Living Center. McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Services is in charge of the arrangements for Mr. Gerald Allen Pendleton, who passed away Tuesday at Willow Ridge. That is a look at our Saturday morning obituary announcements. Momentarily, we'll head to the telephone, check in with local law enforcement agencies, and our own team of reporters scattered throughout the county. We'll find out what's been happening overnight, what's in store for the weekend, here on the Morning Report on WCAB.
The entire team at Crow's Funeral Home and Cremation Services can help you with options available. They will help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved one. During this time, it's important to turn to someone you can trust and depend on. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory has a long history of trust and dependability. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory. That's 286-2304.
Oh, thank you, Jim. It is 17 minutes past 7, 46 degrees with some light rain falling here in Rutherfordton. Let's make our first call of the morning to the Rutherford County Sheriff's Department, and Officer King's on duty this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Seems like every weekend we're getting bad weather.
I know. I wish it would snow again instead of rain, though.
Yeah, this cold rain, it's just making a big mess.
It is. Helping to melt some of the snow down, though.
Yeah, most of it's starting to disappear now.
Yes, sir.
What's been happening at the Sheriff's Department?
In the past 24 hours, the Sheriff's Department responded to 131 calls for service. There were 7 arrests processed in the jail, and the jail currently has 160 people incarcerated. On our incident reports, Nathaniel White from Race Path Church Road in Ellenboro reported attempted break and enter and damage to property, damage done to a screen door. The Cleghorn Gun Club on Union Road in Rutherford reported a break and enter felony and larceny after break and entering. It was larceny of several hand tools. And a Donald Ross from Pointer Road in Forest City reported a break and enter felony and larceny after break and entering. Looks like some household items were taken in that incident. On our arrest reports, Prima Benson from Wilkins Street in Forest City was served with a failure to appear on misdemeanor, received a $2,000 secured bond. Zachary Hunt from Oakland Road in Forest City was arrested and charged with second-degree trespass, received a $500 secured bond. Dustin Sisk from Jacobs Lane in Forest City was arrested and charged with possession of stolen goods, received a $1,000 secured bond. Harland Adams from Stonecutter Street in Spindale was served with a warrant for a threatening phone call, received a written promise to appear. Brandy Wilson from Jacobs Lane in Forest City was served with a misdemeanor probation violation, received a $15,000 secured bond. Kenneth Adkins from Edley Street in Kings Mountain was served with a failure to appear on misdemeanor, received a $300 secured bond. Kayla Crowder from Rustling Drive in Kings Mountain was served with a failure to appear on a misdemeanor and received a $100 secured bond. And Eric Date from Bostic Sunshine Highway in Bostic was served with a failure to appear on a misdemeanor and received a $25,000 secured bond. That's all we have for today.
And we do appreciate the update. Hope you have a good weekend.
Thank you, Jay. You too.
That's Officer King reporting in this morning from the Rutherford County Sheriff's Department. Gerald, Lynn, Clayton, Tony at Southern Carpet in Forest City, they know how real life can be. They know that your kids are going to spill things and make messes. They know that, especially right now, you let the dogs, the cats out, the pets outside, they come back in, and we have just a little bit of mud and still some leaves that they could track in as well. And that really takes a toll on your flooring. Now, that's why Southern Carpet carries flooring products that stand up to the day-to-day, like their selection of Tarkett flooring. They have the widest range of flooring products that are both beautiful and resilient at Southern Carpet. And right now you can find out more about all of their fabulous flooring products. Southern Carpet, 1512 West Main Street in Forest City. By the way, you'll always find excellent pricing as well. Now, folks, you'll find the perfect flooring to fit not only your home, but also your budget. So why not stop by, talk to Gerald, Lynn, Clayton, Tony, take advantage of their great deals, and choose from their excellent selection of Tarkett flooring. Southern Carpet, 1512 West Main Street in Forest City. They are directly across the road from the North State Gas Company. You can also check out their webpage. They are online at southerncarpet.net. You'll also find them on Facebook. Yep, call up Facebook, type in Southern Carpet Forest City. It'll take you right to their page. Be sure to click on that thumbs up and give the Tonys another like. Good folks to know, good folks to do business with, free estimates, expert installation. Southern Carpet, 1512 West Main Street in Forest City.
Christmas in Rutherford County starts with a stop at the Recliner Center. With winter coming, you'll be spending more and more time indoors, so be comfortable and stylish with a new sofa, love seat, or an ultra comfort lift chair. And with company coming in for the holidays, what better time to purchase new Spring Air mattresses? You've heard us tell you doctors have said a good night's rest is important for good health, and Spring Air is dedicated to giving you the best in quality comfort and support. New merchandise is arriving daily. JD and Marie Shook want to thank you, their friends and loyal customers, for your business, thoughts, and prayers this past year. And they want to wish for all of you a very Merry Christmas and a happy and prosperous New Year. Their hours are Wednesday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 9 to 2. That's the Recliner Center on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton. And Merry Christmas from everybody at the Recliner Center.
Thanks, Lou. 23 minutes now past 7. 46 degrees with light rain falling here in Rutherfordton. Let's check in now at the 911 Communications Center. Lindsay's on duty this morning. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning.
What do you have to report today?
In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 408 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 38 EMS, 9 rescue, under law enforcement 131, Sheriff's Office 45 Forest City, 3 Lake Lure, 30 Rutherfordton, 32 Spindale, Cliffside, Green Hill, SDO, and Sandy Mush all had motor vehicle accidents, and that is all.
Let's hope that this weekend is a whole lot more quiet than last weekend, huh?
Yes.
I don't think we have any snow or ice to worry about anytime soon. That is good news. Lindsay, yes. We appreciate the update this morning. Hope you have a good weekend.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Lindsay. That's Lindsay reporting in this morning from the Rutherford County Sheriff's Department 911 Communications Center. 24 minutes past 7.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide daycare services for an aging parent or loved one. Rutherford Life Care can be just what you're looking for. Rutherford Life Care offers adults a safe and fun place during the day for medical monitoring, nutritional meals, and daily activities. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. Call them today and let them answer questions you may have. That's 288-1697, 288-1697. Rutherford Life offers a staff of professionals who show the love and compassion that you entrust your loved ones to. That's Rutherford Life Care Services, located on Thunder Road, Spindale. Again, that phone number is 288-1697.
Well, that's the voice of Bishop, Jim Bishop, and he is here to wake you up Monday through Friday mornings in the Blue Room. Jim comes in a little bit before 6 o'clock, and he sticks around till 9 o'clock, and then, well, we kind of think he goes off and takes a nap and then comes back around lunchtime. But no. Jim works very, very hard on only a few hours sleep. It's amazing how much he can do on a few hours sleep. Me, on the other hand, if I don't get at least 7 hours, I'm not a happy camper. 26 minutes past 7, and let's head now up toward Lake Lure and check in at the Fairfield community. Rumbling Bold Golf and Beach Resort. That's where we'll find Homer. Good morning, Homer.
Good morning.
A lot different than last weekend, huh?
A lot different than last weekend, but today is almost the exact repeat of yesterday.
Yeah, it's pretty soggy.
Come in yesterday, rainy, foggy. Come in this morning, driving in the pouring down rain, foggy. It's almost a complete repeat.
Hey, I do have good news. Sunshine expected by Monday.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow I heard the later part of tomorrow may be good.
Yeah. If we can get through the first part of the day, we may see some sun by tomorrow around noontime.
Well, that's good because I'm off.
Oh, that's a good time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of dreary up here. Like I said, it's like about a complete repeat of yesterday. Pretty foggy. Well, actually a really heavy fog, rain, kind of a dreary morning. Temperature is not bad, 42 midnight. It warmed up to 46, which is what the temperature is currently. Well, I'm sorry, 45. Check the rain gauge. We've had about 2 1/4 inches of rain so far. Some of that could be mixed with a little bit of snow, but that's what I looked in the rain gauge, just over 2 inches. Not a lot going on up here, just dealing with the aftermath of the snow. We're going to have a major cleanup of trees all on the side of our roads. I think they're going to be starting Monday with some crews cleaning up all the limbs, debris that they pushed over to the side of the road. So the contractor, I think he said it's going to take probably a little over a month to clean up everything. So I'm sure that'll be a good thing when they get it all cleaned up. It's pretty badly damaged up here with the trees and stuff. Other than that, not much more going on. We've still got a few people staying here at the resort. It's kind of slow right now. It'll start picking up around Christmas. It'll be a busy time of the year, Christmas, New Year's. Then after that, it'll kind of slow back down a little bit. So that's pretty much what's going on in the Rumbling Ball community. No announcements, no dinners or anything, so it's kind of a quiet time up here.
I did have some good news yesterday. I understand that now, according to the utility companies, all power has been restored in the county.
That's pretty good. I think I seen on a report about 8,000 people at one time were out of power in Rutherford County. I think it's somewhere around in there.
It was a lot of people.
Yeah, and then I listened to the radio, and some lady on the radio in Rutherford or somewhere said she was still without power yesterday. So that's good that they got it restored.
Yeah. That makes it tough when you have to go without the electric for several days.
Yeah, one day is maybe okay, but 2 or 3 days you start to pull your hair out a little bit.
Yeah, it's amazing how much we depend upon it.
Exactly.
Homer, appreciate the update. Hope you have a good weekend.
We thank you. Appreciate it.
That's Homer. He's up at the Rumbling Bold Golf and Beach Resort up on the shores of Lake Lure.
Have you heard the 3 big lies about Medicaid eligibility? First, if you need a nursing home, Medicaid will take your house. That's not true. Second, if you transfer assets, you have to wait 60 months to qualify. That's not true. And third, if you're already in a nursing home, it's too late to protect your assets. That's not true. Please call attorneys Gerald N. Willis, Ken Baldwin, or Martin Gerard at the Arledge Law Firm for a free consultation and learn the truth about Medicaid and eligibility and nursing home care in North Carolina. It's more likely than you think that you may qualify and not lose everything you own. Call the Arledge Law Firm today at 287-3338, located on East Court Street in Rutherford. Again, that's 287-3338.
Health insurance is complicated, and with healthcare reform on the way, it's not getting any simpler. If you've got questions, we've got agents. Your local Farm Bureau insurance agent can walk you through the changes and offer you the right healthcare plan with the right benefits for you. Healthcare may be changing, but our superior service isn't. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
African American women die from breast cancer, nearly 41% more than Caucasian women.
That's unacceptable.
Visit Komen.org/unacceptable.
WCAB Rutherfordton.
It is 29 minutes now before 8 o'clock. They did not leave me a note, and I got a hold of Sue Price, but she is still under the weather. Hopefully she'll get to feeling better pretty soon and hopefully be back with us here again on the radio maybe next week. So my apologies to Sue that I think I kind of woke her up. But anyway, yeah, it helps if they leave me a note and let me know these kind of things. 46 degrees currently in Rutherfordton. Let's see who is next on the list. I believe it's going to be Brenda Kelly up in Union Mills. We'll try to make a connection with her in just one moment.
It is so easy to keep your car running clean when you visit RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash. The RS Speedy Lube can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids, vacuum out the car, pull next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers. Then pull next door to the RS Speedy Lube Automatic Car Wash. Make your car feel clean all under and all over. It's possible at RS Service Center and Speedy Lube Car Wash, Railroad Avenue, Rutherfordton.
Nearly 250,000 men and women in the U.S. will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year.
Breast cancer is unacceptable.
Visit Komen.org/unacceptable.
Today's hits and yesterday's memories, WCAB Rutherfordton.
All right, let's head up the road to Union Mills and check in this morning with Brenda Kelly. Good morning, Brenda.
Good morning. How are you on this super Saturday ucky morning?
I thought you were going to say soggy.
Well, I was trying to think of a lot of S words. Soggy's one of them, and sloppy and soupy and...
Yeah, that ground is just absolutely saturated.
It is. It's just terrible. So, but we hope everybody's doing all right. I believe you said there might be a little sunshine today.
No, maybe tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow? Well, I can hope, can't I?
Now the good news is, if you can hold your breath, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday look absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, well, that's good. We need it to dry it up.
Yeah, it's gonna take several days to dry up this mess.
I'm telling you, it's just, ooh. And they still some of that snow laying around different places at my place. Not a whole lot, but they still some.
Well, it's just waiting around for more to come.
Well, they say if it stays for 3 days, it's waiting on another, and it's been a week. It started snowing a week ago late this afternoon, or
yep,
like 8 or 8:30, somewhere like that.
Yep.
So it's been here for a week.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of winter we have this year.
I know it. It's just beyond me. But anyway, but we hope everybody's having a good day. You just have to look on the bright side. Look at the pretty Christmas lights. They're shining bright. They was pretty in the snow. I know that. They really showed up in the snow. But I've got 42 degrees on the front porch. I've had an inch of rain. Birthdays today, I've got it's Jordan Davis and Bridget Samuels. And tomorrow I've got DeWalt and Shirley Coon anniversary. On Round Hill today, it's Kayla Nanny's birthday, and I don't have anything for tomorrow. So we hope all these people have a great old big day on their special day. And in ways of announcements, we got a lost dog, Red Heeler Mix, and his name is Jack. He has one blind eye, wearing a green collar, life thing off of Camp Creek Road in Union Mills. If you see him, please call 828-641-1659 or 940-293-5027. And also, I've got an obituary. Mary Sue Dillard, her funeral will be today. They'll receive friends from 1 to 3 at Bean Funeral Home on Highway 221 in Marion. And burial will be at Macedonia Baptist Church, and the funeral starts at 3. And the burial will be after that at Macedonia Church in Nebo. And as far as I know, that's all I got going on.
All right. Any big plans for the weekend?
No, I guess I'll go to church tomorrow. Didn't nobody go to church last week?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was kind of tricky.
Yeah, it was. I wasn't going to attempt it.
No.
It wouldn't be so bad if from my house is straight downhill, and when you get to the bottom of the hill, there's a creek, and I just have a fear of ending up in that creek, so I don't try it.
Well, you could always go downhill, but getting back uphill, that may be the challenge.
Well, yeah, but going down the hill, I'm scared of sliding in that creek.
Yeah, that would not be a good thing.
No, it wouldn't. Yeah.
Well, Brenda, hope you have a good weekend.
You too, and we'll talk to you another time.
Okay, thanks, Brenda.
Catch you later.
That's Brenda Kelly reporting in this morning from Union Mills.
Save-A-Lot Grocery, White Oak Plaza, Spindale has hundreds of super low prices on most of your favorite name brand items. They have 500 plus prices lowered across the entire store. Stock up on fresh meats, produce, frozen foods, snack foods, and your favorite beverages and pastries. Open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 9, Sunday, 10 to 8. Save-A-Lot Grocery, White Oak Plaza, Spindale.
The U.S. is projected to add 10 million jobs over the next 5 years. But will today's high school students be ready for the jobs of tomorrow? The future of our country is in high school, and politicians are deciding the future right now. Text FUTURE to 225568 to learn more from XQ. Message and data rates may apply.
WCAB, Rutherfordton.
I'm Blake Seahan. As a Duke Energy lineman here in the Carolinas, I've seen firsthand how hard this year's weather has been on our customers. From hurricanes to these recent winter storms. We know that life can't get back to normal without power. That's why we are so determined to help our friends, neighbors, and the whole state recover as fast as possible. So from all of us at Duke Energy, thank you for your patience. We are proud to serve you and the places we call home.
Next Thursday, you will be caught in an extreme flash flood.
Disasters don't plan ahead, but you can. Talk to your loved ones about making an emergency plan. Get started today at ready.gov/plan. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Get the first weather forecast every morning at 6:05 here on WCAB 100.9 FM 590 AM Rutherfordton.
Well, thanks, Tom. 21 minutes now before 8 o'clock, 46 degrees with light rain falling here in Rutherfordton. One more call left to make on this Saturday morning. You know what time it is. It's Sweet Thing time. We head to Ellenboro. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Luther Gillikin. Good morning, Luther.
Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a good day.
Yeah, it's kind of a soggy, muddy Saturday morning.
Yeah, it's sort of a dreary Saturday, but hey, we're melting the snow down here.
Yep.
It's going to take a lot of it got going yesterday, a lot of it get going today, probably all be going before Monday. Move it on out. So it's going to have to drain off, kind of soak in. There's some ditches yesterday were running pretty good with all the snow melt running into the ditch. But hey, we're having a good time there. Though it's quiet this morning, nothing going on. Fire department didn't have anything yesterday. They everything quiet with them this morning. Just didn't, but we're having something going on starting at 8 o'clock this morning. We'll be having a big sale bazaar here at Women's Clubhouse. That's right there in the center of Villabro. They're going to have plenty of cookies and cakes and pies and Christmas goodies and all that stuff and bazaar items. Everyone's invited to stop by sometime between 8 and 12. So you want to get there early, you want you a good cake up. You want to make good cakes, they go quick. So you just come on out and check it out. And yes, they won't wish you happy wedding anniversary today. Norman and Carol McDaniel, they're having one. And Brock and Courtney Bailey, they're having with that birthday. And tomorrow, Miss Peggy Hamrick is having with birthday, and Miss Brent Wilson, she's having a birthday tomorrow. So hope they all have a great day and enjoy their day. Jane, that's what's going on. You have a great day up there. We'll talk to you next time.
All right. Appreciate the update as always, Luther. Hope you have a good weekend.
I'm going to have a great time. You too. Take care.
That's Luther Sweet Thing Gillikin reporting in this morning from Ellenboro.
A gift is so much more than what's hidden beneath its shiny wrapping. It's the excitement and anticipation you feel right before you open it. It's the frenzy of thoughts that rush through your mind of what it could be, and it's the thrill of finally knowing the unknown. A gift holds limitless potential. It lets us dream a little. Capture their hearts and their imaginations with a gift that's full of possibility. Holiday scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery with more than $40 million in total prizes. These gifts are full of the wonder of what if. And there's a holiday scratch-off for everyone on your list, like Holiday Cash, the first see-through scratch-off ticket. It's clearly a good choice. Or maybe Merry and Bright with a top prize of $1 million. Now that's a lot to dream about. Or Happy Holiday gift tag-styled scratch-offs. There's no better present topper. This holiday season, give the gift of a dream. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.22 to 4.76. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Stop by real soon and visit Open Box Superstore, located at 465 West Main Street in Spindale. They are an authorized dealer of Bimtelli and Nocto electric bicycles and scooters. They specialize in all types of bicycles: children, adults, beach bikes, mountain bikes, tricycles, pedal assistance, and gas scooters. Open Box now offers financing on anything from $250 up to $10,000. It's quick and easy to apply. That's Open Box Superstore, 465 West Main Street, Spindale, or call 828-288-4054. Stop in soon.
Thanks, Jim. 17 minutes before 8 o'clock, and I'm wondering if anybody is celebrating a birthday or an anniversary this weekend. Today, Saturday, December 15th. Tomorrow, Sunday, December 16th. Now, if you or somebody you know is celebrating a birthday or an anniversary this weekend, I'd like to find out about it so that I can announce it and broadcast it and let everybody know about it. From the names that are called in to the radio station this morning, I'll select one at random. That person will win a $5 gift certificate good at the Mi Pueblito Mexican Restaurants. 2 locations here in Rutherford County. Telephone lines are now opening up at 287-3356. 287-3356. I'll be able to take calls for the next few minutes, so don't delay. Call now. Birthdays, anniversaries. Let's find out who is celebrating this weekend. Well, today is Saturday, December 15th. Let's take a look at our Gilkey Ruatan calendar, and let's find out who's celebrating. Have one birthday on the Gilkey calendar for today. That would be Jordan Davis. And then tomorrow, good friends DeWalt and Shirley Kuhn celebrating a wedding anniversary tomorrow on Sunday the 16th. I do have several names that have been called in to the radio station this morning. Over around Frog Level, let's say happy birthday to Todd Davis, who is 48 years young today. Also, that'd be tomorrow, Sunday, for Todd. So Todd, happy birthday a day early. Over in Forest City, tomorrow, birthday for Faye Hauk, and also celebrating a wedding anniversary today over in Rutherfordton. It is their 27th wedding anniversary. Happy anniversary to David and Annette Garland. Happy anniversary to the Garlands. Momentarily, I will put these names over here in my lucky box, and we'll select a name at random, and that person will receive the $5 gift certificate, good at the Mi Pueblito Mexican Restaurants. 2 locations here in Rutherford County, on Oak Street in Forest City, directly across from the Tri-City Mall, and also in Rutherfordton at the intersection of Washington and Charlotte.
Today's hits and yesterday's memories, WCAB Rutherfordton.
Oh, it's time to find out who is going to win that $5 gift certificate good at Mi Pueblito. Looks like our winner today it's Todd Davis. Todd Davis lives over near Oakland, Frog Level, over that area. Todd, congratulations. You have won the $5 gift certificate good at the Mi Pueblito Mexican Restaurants. We'll have that here at the radio studios on Whiteside Road in Rutherfordton. Next couple of days, you can stop by, pick that up, and then enjoy that great food. And have I ever mentioned the sweet tea? I think Mi Pueblito has some of the best sweet tea around. I don't know what it is, what they do different, but it's always really, really good. Food is really, really good too, but man, I really like the sweet tea at Mi Pueblito. Hey, stay tuned, because coming up at 8 o'clock this morning, we'll talk taxes. Gilbert talks taxes. Gilbert Carmona has arrived in the building. He'll be all set up and ready to go at 8 o'clock here this morning on WCAB.
NCN News, I'm Alyssa Vale. Police in Colorado have declined to call the fiancé of a missing woman a suspect or person of interest. Still, they want him to sit down with investigators to discuss the disappearance of Kelsey Barrett. KCNC TV's Melissa Garcia has the latest.
Police focused on the fluorescent home of Patrick Frazee, searching for clues in the disappearance of his fiancée, Kelsey Barrett. The 29-year-old mom's been missing since Thanksgiving, and officials say her family is hurting.
It was a really difficult night last night. It's been a tough couple of days.
Police say Frazee was the last person to see the Woodland Park woman during an exchange of their one-year-old daughter. 3 days after her disappearance, Barrett's phone pinged in Idaho. Now investigators want to find out if he traveled there.
The story of a 7-year-old Guatemalan girl raises questions about how well U.S. authorities are prepared for the growing number of Central American families and children showing up at the border with Mexico. The girl, Jacqueline Call, was picked up with her father and other migrants in a remote stretch of New Mexico desert. More than 7 hours later, she began vomiting on a bus en route to the Border Patrol station. Then she stopped breathing and died after being airlifted to a hospital. The Durham County Sheriff's Office says it has released 11 people from its jail in keeping with a new policy of no longer holding people for federal immigration officials. New Sheriff Clarence Burkhead told CBS 17 he directed his office last week to end the long-standing policy of honoring immigration and customs enforcement detainers.
These are not violent offenders, so no one has been released that I would consider a threat to public safety.
The GOP candidate in a disputed North Carolina congressional race says it was his decision to hire an operative who is now a person of interest in an investigation into how absentee ballots were handled. Republican Mark Harris confirmed to WBTV in Charlotte Friday that he hired McCrae Dowless for his campaign. You're listening to NCN News.
What's the best-selling small tractor in America? Kubota's BX Series Compact. Now get a BX 1880 for as low as $99 a month with 0% APR financing for 84 months. Now through December 31st, 2018. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
Basketball season is here, and so is the 2018 ACC Basketball Preview Magazine. You can find it on newsstands everywhere and online right now at ACCSports.com. Get the scoop on all the teams with predictions from the experts, recruiting news, and rankings of the best ACC players and teams. No other magazine dedicates 10 pages to each ACC school, each jam-packed with stats and information. Want a copy shipped to you? It's easy. Just go to ACCSports.com and click on the Basketball Preview banner.
Kubota's L2501 DT packs powerful performance in one easy-to-operate compact tractor. Now get payments as low as $135 a month with 0% APR financing for 84 months. Now through December 31st, 2018. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
Still have some holiday shopping to do? Before you head out the door, you may want to consider where you're shopping and if the store's return policy is okay with you. CBS News correspondent Stephen Kaufman explains.
Do your homework. Make sure you're aware of the return policies of the store you're purchasing a gift from.
Return policies are pretty generous at some places, but they're increasingly becoming more restrictive.
Nikhil Huthing Singh with Consumer Reports magazine says when buying merchandise online, make sure you know who you're actually buying from, as third-party sellers pitch their wares on popular sites such as Walmart and Amazon.
It'll have a whole bunch of third-party folks that are selling on its platform that have their own return policies.
Stephen Kaufman, CBS News.
If you've ever seen the gingerbread creations at the historic Omni Grove Park Inn in Asheville, you know it's not your typical gingerbread contest. This year, some of those who entered for the first time were second and third place winners, including Greer Rubling of Cary. She placed third out of 195 entries for her gingerbread sculpture of reindeer playing poker. Duke police are investigating after a student said she was raped on campus Thursday morning. The victim said the man threatened her with a knife and forced her to have sex. Duke students question how the man got into the building. Resident Tara Mayer tells WTVD.
I think most of our buildings, at least as far as I know, they're all locked and you have to use your key card to open it up, especially past 1 a.m. So obviously I don't really know what happened, but that's very unfortunate that happened on our campus.
CBS is pledging $20 million in support of 18 organizations dedicated to eliminating sexual harassment in the workplace as the network tries to recover from a scandal that led to the ouster of its top executive, Les Moonves. CBS says the money will go towards helping the organizations expand their work and ties into the company's ongoing commitment to strengthening its own workplace culture. Alyssa Vale, NCN News.
Let the WCAB marketing team go to work for your business. It works. Call Tracy or Jim at 287-3356.
Good Saturday morning. Grab your rain gear again today. Showers remain likely before lunchtime, and then the chance for a shower will linger into the later part of today. Cloudy skies keep high temperatures in the upper 40s to mid-50s today. We are still expecting some patchy fog this morning. Patchy fog likely to redevelop overnight, as well as some areas of drizzle tonight. Low temperatures overnight falling into the 40s. We're back in the 50s tomorrow with some peaks of sunshine and a slight chance of a shower. I'm Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
Good morning, everyone. That is the International Morse Code Signal, the call for help. And that marks the beginning of my program, Gilbert Talks Taxes. Good morning. Good morning, my engineer this morning, Jay. I was just telling Jay I'm sending out the SOS, the call for help. I really don't know what to talk about. Jay's shaking his head. I am Gilbert Carmona. The program is Gilbert Talks Taxes right here at WCAB AM 590 and FM 100.9. Yes, Jay, I got it. I practiced all week. I got it. The new call letters. My name is Gilbert Carmona. I am an enrolled agent. What is an enrolled agent, Jay? An enrolled agent is a person enrolled with and by the IRS. We are tax specialists. There's only 42,000 of us. By last count, we are like CPAs and tax attorneys, and that we are tax experts. We're supposed to know everything going on with taxes, supposedly. Yet, and I'm going to quote, this is from a publication that we subscribe to, the National Association of Enrolled Agents. Let me quote, once again, we find ourselves weeks from a new filing season with an uncertain tax codes. Provisions like the deductibility of mortgage insurance premiums, the exclusion of discharge of qualified home indebtedness, and deductibility of qualified tuition expenses are decidedly middle-class benefits. Yet, we are on January's doorstep, and enrolled agents are still unable to advise clients. Quoting the Bard of Avon, we say to Congress, a pox on both your houses. This bill got passed. You remember a year ago, it's been a year. This got passed. Tax reform, TCJI, Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which is the name that they give it. It's actually got a much longer name. But anyway, we've got this tax bill, and all summer we're getting, we call it governance guidance from the IRS, and it's been up and down. You guys cannot deduct meals. Yay! You can deduct meals. Yay! You can deduct this. You can't deduct that. And then they flip-flop. You can deduct that, but you can't deduct this. I told people, let's not even bother doing any tax planning till the fall because they don't know yet. See, they pass a law with an end goal, and then they fill in the blanks. You know, that's why every year I come on the program in December when people are like, why are you talking about taxes in November, December? Because now's the time to do your tax planning for the end of the year and for the beginning of next year, so we get next year started right. And then Congress has this little thing called extenders. Those are laws that are set to die December 31st, and it's always the guessing game which ones we're going to extend. Okay? But this year we have nothing. We don't know which way to go on so many of these issues. So I'm sitting here, we may be talking about Trump for an hour. I don't know what we're going to talk about. Jay said you can always talk about scams. No, I think no. Enough with the scams. I mean, if they don't get it by now, they're not going to get it. Let's get it all out there. My telephone number, those of you that need to reach me. And yes, the office is going to be open the next 2 weeks. We're here diligently working, Jay. Jay's looking at me with that question mark look. No. There's no rest at Gilbert Talks Taxes. We are getting ready for the end of the year. We have a lot to do. We're plowing through a lot of stuff. If you need me, give me a call, 828-289-9300. I have two offices, one right here at 113 Whitesides Road, right up the street. I have another one in downtown Tryon, 226 South Trade Street, the beautiful Art Deco building, just off the historic Tryon downtown. Again, my number, 828-289-9300. Now, if you have any questions that you want to ask and call the program, the telephone number here, 828-287-3356. Now, I can't get you live on the air, but Jay does a great job of writing your question down, and if I can answer it on the air, I will. Otherwise, sometimes I got to come back next week and talk about it. Those of you live streaming us, now, Todd said you got a new internet speed. Were you down? Was the radio station without power at all during the week? Without internet. Well, Northland Cable was without internet for 3 or 4 days. I really remember how many, but he said we have a new speed. It looks great. You can see my vintage Enrico Sacchi tie there. Yes, beautiful Italian basket weave. You can see it looks great. It looks great what he's doing there. Those of you live streaming us, there it went. www.wcab59.com. You can tune in. Now, we're not on Northland Cable Channel 5 anymore this year, I've been informed. But with this kind of internet, who needs it? A little bit of water there for me in case I get thirsty. So we lost power, and I had half the neighborhood at my house I didn't lose power. So they all came over to warm up and eat, things like that, take showers, the usual stuff, which surprised me because Ruthridge, we never lose power. In every storm, I've been there 15 years now, we've only lost power twice, and once was that planned outage that we had. And so I was surprised when I see people walking up to my house. I'm going, well, this can't be good. There's a blizzard, and there are people walking up to my house. Hello? So, and they all lost power. But it was about 50-50. Half the neighborhood. My office was without power. Tryon was without power. But Tryon loses power quite a bit. All those old trees there, especially up in hunting country, it takes nothing for them. But Duke Power, diligently getting, let's say that, let's give them that plug in case I need them. Duke Power, diligently getting that power. No, and those guys worked hard. Seriously, I know a lot of you. I do taxes for several of you. And you've come by my office, you've helped me out. You all worked hard, and thank you. Thank you for that. See, I have nothing to talk about. We're talking about the weather. Last week, I talked about the new tax form. And what I want to just get out to people, I don't want to dissect the thing and go over every line. But what I want to get out to people is we have a new tax form. I have actually talked to preparers, and I've said, have you seen the new tax form? And you get that rabbit in the headlights look. New tax form? Yes, the new tax form. Oh, yeah, I heard they changed a few things. No, they didn't change a few things. They changed the entire form. Okay? We now have a tax form that, yes, can be put on a postcard. On the big postcard, half a page. 5.5 by 8.5. Okay, it was still a postcard on both sides, and it's got 6 attachments. Okay, so that's a pretty big postcard. We have Schedule 1, Schedule 2, Schedule 3, Schedule 4, Schedule 5, and Schedule 6. These are brand new forms that did not exist before. And while some people, you look at them and they look simple, they are not. It's different the way we're calculating this thing. It's changing everything, and a lot of people are going to be doing their taxes. For one thing, you're going to have preparers that are going to start. Typically, it starts getting busy about the 3rd week of January. It starts getting busy, and there are preparers out there that will be the first time they will have seen the new form, and that's the part that's got me worried, because that's not the time to be getting a hold of this. And those of you that self-prepare, I'm an advocate of doing that, of self-preparing. I have no problem with that. Those of you that self-prepare, this may be the year you may want to consider picking up that phone and calling 828-289-9300. That's my number, or somebody, because it's going to get complicated. it's going to get complicated really fast. Because what happens, what we're seeing happen, as we've already got the software, we're already working on it, we're actually already looking at tax returns. What happens is, it's not like it was before where all the numbers end up on the 1040 and you can go back to where they came from. These schedules are actually totaling the numbers and doing a lot of the math behind the scenes, then bringing it forward. What's different than before? These are new forms, and people don't know, we don't know how to follow the trail. The old forms that we've been using for the last 33 years, we know the trail. And so we know. I don't trust the software at all. I always look at a tax return. I always look at the 1040. When my staff, all three of them, it makes it sound like I have a big practice. My staff, yeah, all three of them. When all three of them, when anybody will say to me, I don't understand something, I always say, where did the number come from? And I never, ever want to hear, it just is. Well, I've called, you're laughing. Come and sit at my desk. I've called, and these are CPAs I've called. Because people will come for a review. I'm also a financial planner, so I do financial planning. People will come for a financial review. I don't do their tax return, and I look at the tax return, and I'll call them and I'll say, this number here doesn't make sense. Just wondering, because the people may not bring me the whole tax return. They'll only bring me, the first 8 or 9 pages, which is the relevant part you file. I don't have all the worksheets. And I'll say, where did this number come from? And there's a pause on the phone, and they'll say, well, it just is. No, it isn't just is. This is math. Where did it come from? I want to know the source for these numbers. And so I always say, where are those numbers? They just don't appear on the page. Where did they come from? So we've got this happening, and there's going to be a lot of confusion with this. That's all I really just want to get out there. It's going to be a lot of confusion. Everybody be aware. And the times may take longer to do tax returns than people normally thought. You drop it off. Usually I turn the tax return around in a couple of weeks. If it's complicated, it could take a couple of months. If we're pulling a lot of data together, this could double those times. So I just want to prepare everybody. I don't know what else to say about that other than that. I can go on and on. What remains the same? Okay, Schedule A is the same. That hasn't changed. And I'm going to talk about Schedule A after the break. And I'm going to talk about charitable contributions, because this is one of the big questions I'm getting, especially from my not-for-profit organizations. Churches and charities are very concerned about this. And I'll talk about that. Schedule C. Schedule A, which is if you go above the standard deduction, Schedule A kicks in. Schedule C, if you're self-employed, sole proprietor, that's pretty much stayed the same. Schedule E, if you have K1 income, investment income, rental property, that all goes on your Schedule E. That's the same. Schedule F, all you farmers out there, Schedule F. That's the same. So I'll be talking a little bit about those. I'm going to talk about a few other things. I'm going to deviate a little bit. I'm going to hit on cryptocurrency a little bit. Ohio is now accepting cryptocurrency to pay for your taxes. That could be a game changer. That really could. Let's go ahead and should we take a break? You've got your finger on the button. You're ready to go. Oh, I know. You're 2 steps ahead of me. You really are, and I appreciate that. Let's go. Let's go ahead. Okay. I got to get this in here, and then we'll take the break. Those of you that are 70 and a half this year, remember, in 2 weeks, actually less than 2 weeks, in 10 days, you have to, today's the 15th, no, 2 weeks. They got till the 31st. But you've got 10 business days left. You've got to take your RMD, your required minimum distribution. Failure to take that required minimum distribution is 50%. 50%. Yeah. In the past, the IRS has been very generous with that, though, because they understand most of these are senior citizens. They forget because they forget, It's not that they're not trying to do it. So they've been very generous. They've handed out waivers, meaning they've waived the penalty pretty easily. I've had people that have said, hey, I just forgot. It's the financial advisor's responsibility. Like, we've already gone through our list. All of you that are 70 and a half, if you're my client, don't worry, you've already been contacted. Or we've already just done the paperwork already, so you're good to go. But what happens is a lot of older people tend to have older financial advisors who have retired, or other things have happened to them, and they're no longer practicing. So there's nobody there, and their account becomes just a house account sitting in some brokerage firm somewhere. And so nobody's, monitoring this and reaching out to them. So if you're 70 and a half or older, you've got your required minimum distribution. And you got to take that by December 31st, or there is a penalty. Now, a lot of people just get their pension money every month or every quarter or once a year or whatever. So you're good, you're covered. But it's those people that don't have that set up, and it's usually the first year that they turn 70 and a half that this catches them by surprise. So that's why I'm bringing this up. It's just a lot of paperwork to get that waiver later. They're saying they're cracking down on it because of automation and computers and things. There should be no excuse. We'll see what happens. Okay, now let's take that break, Jay. This is Gilbert Talks Taxes, WCAB AM 590, FM 100.9.
This is Gilbert. I've made a career out of helping businesses. Something else that can help businesses is a good sign. Let me tell you about DS Signs and Graphics right here in Spindale. Whether it's outdoor signage, banners, printing, or promotional items, call Alex at 828-286-4900. And remember, a good sign is good business.
Hi there, this is Kimberly, and I'm here to tell you about Peterson's Auto Service and Detail Shop. As a woman, I'm often apprehensive about taking my car to a dirty service garage. But you can be assured that Peterson's, located at 478 Butler Road, Forest City, has an incredibly clean and safe environment where you get high-quality service at a great price. Peterson's was voted Rutherford County's best auto service 3 years in a row. So take your car to Peterson's for brakes, oil change, North Carolina inspection, tire rotation, headlight lens restoration, scratch removal, and meticulous auto detailing. That's Peterson's at 478 Butler Road, Forest City. You can call him for an appointment at 245-8889.
We are back. Gilbert Talks Taxes, WCAB, AM 590, FM 100.9. Gilbert Talks Taxes, among many other things. I'm sorry, I was just notified that my tapping on the desk was being broadcast all over America. I didn't realize that. So that noise was, it was planned. I won't do it anymore. Maybe, I can't promise that. So, Schedule A, let me get back to Schedule A. Let's talk about Schedule A. Schedule A, well, let me give you this piece of information. Standard deduction is now doubled. This is a confusing subject for a lot of people. Even people that do their own taxes for years, they still have to wrap their head around this. The government gives you a standard deduction. The first part of the old tax form, because now we have the new tax form, in case you haven't heard, Jay. The new tax form. The old tax form, the first part, if you look at the paper, the top, is we put all your income. Okay, from all your sources. There's 20 lines there, 21 lines there. We put all your income from whatever goes on there. The bottom part, we give you some deductions against that income. Health insurance, 50% of your self-employment tax, your student loan deduction. If you're a teacher, you can deduct your $250, for expenses from there, and a few other things that get deducted there. And then you go to the top of the second page of the old tax form, and that's what we called adjusted gross income. Now, the government, in their benevolence, gave you a deduction from your adjusted gross income. It was called the standard deduction. So if you were single, your standard deduction was $6,000, $6,000 and change, $6,700 and change. If you had a household, it was $9,300. If you were married, filing joint, it was $12,000. Okay. This year, what they have done is they have doubled it. Single is $12,000. Married filing jointly, $24,000, which this is great. It reduces your standard, it increases your standard deduction, it reduces your taxable income, because that adjusted gross income now gets reduced by that deduction. Now, there are people that have more deductions than the standard deduction. And before, when the standard deduction, let's take a married couple, $12,000 you got. What happened is, if you had a house with a mortgage interest was deductible. It still is deductible. Okay, it's deductible. And I'm going to talk about HELOC, home improvement, home equity line of credits. I'm going to talk about HELOCs and second mortgages in a minute, because there's a lot of rumors going around about that. Yes, it still is deductible to a point. So I'm going to talk about that. But mortgages first and second. Property tax that you pay on homes and or other property vehicles is deductible. There's a standard deduction for income tax versus sales tax. You know, we take the highest, whichever one's the highest. Contributions to charities. Now, people that are tithers, which there's a lot of people that tithe. It's a myth that people don't tithe. I see tax returns. A lot of people tithe. A lot of people give beyond their tithe. There are people that just give to charity. If you're a tither and you have a mortgage, with the property tax, you're married filing joint, typically, you're going to go above the standard deduction of $12,000 married filing joint. Now, with standard deduction being $24,000 for married filing joint, incidentally, most of the tithers I have noticed over the years tend to be married people. If they're single, they tend to be older singles or divorced single. It's rare you see young people do it. And plus, young people usually don't have a big mortgage either. So young people typically, when I say young, I'm talking, 30s and under, single. So typically, married couple that's giving to charity, has a mortgage, paying property tax. Maybe they have a vacation home somewhere. That goes on top of it too. Typically go over standard deduction when it's at $12,000. Now at $24,000, the fear, or the concern, and really the fear with a lot of the charities is that people are going to stop donating because you have to go over $24,000 for it to count. So, and it's $1 after 24. So, if they don't have a mortgage or their mortgage interest is very small. So this was a really big concern early on with this. And a lot of charities were predicting major shortfalls. So, because there's two kinds of givers. There's people that are giving because of the benevolence of their heart and they want to give, and the tax return is incidental. I see that. I actually see people that give a lot of money to their church, and I say, well, did you get a tithe letter from your church? And they're like, I don't really care about that. Well, it could go on your tax return. I don't care. You get that. And I know they're giving because I do their stuff, and I see their outflow. That's how I know they're giving. And so you have that group of people, and they're going to give no matter what. They're not giving to get a tax break. But then you have the group that is giving to get a tax break. And that's the whole reason they give, and which is fine. I mean, whatever. That's a way they've chosen to do this. Set up charitable remainder trusts. When you have a trust and after money gets distributed to beneficiaries, what's left over then goes to charity, reduces the tax within the trust. They're concerned that these things are going to go away. We don't know yet. It starts January 1st. We'll see what the behavior is, and we'll see where it goes. But this was a concern. It is a concern. Now, you still can give. It's not that you can't, because that got put out there where you can't give anymore. No, of course you can give. Well, people say things, Jay, and what happens is the media reports it, and you catch a piece of it, and they don't know. They're not tax people. They don't know how to explain it. I'm a tax person, and I have a hard time explaining it where somebody will understand it, because everybody's situation is different. So you're talking to a married couple who's got grandchildren, maybe even great-grandchildren. They want to do some generation skipping things. They want to do some charity. They want to do some things. So you may take a plan there, and you may have another person who just wants to give money, and that'll be a different plan. So, and they all affect this. So Schedule A still is there. You still can donate to your charity. You know, I say tithing is biblical. People have heard me talk about this. Tithing is biblical. For people that argue that point, it's ridiculous. What keeps the lights on in your church? Okay, start with that. And if you've been without power last week, you really appreciate this, okay? And those people that work at your church, I'm sure they appreciate to get a check every Friday. Where does that come from? Okay? And, you know, maybe it's not like it was in the Old Testament, because people say, oh, tithing is an Old Testament concept. You know, it's not in the New Testament. Well, Jesus paid the temple tax. I've talked about that one a lot. And he had a lot more faith than most people I know. When they owe money, they, start wringing their hands. Where's it going to come from? Jesus just sent Peter out there and said, get the fish, take the shekel out of its mouth, and go pay not only my tax, but go ahead and pay yours too. Okay? So, yes, he paid it. And that was the form of the tithe back then, was the temple tax. We don't have that today. Because it's not forced on us, but they had to pay that. And there's no choice. It was a tax. And they had to pay it. And in the Old Testament, they took, a tenth of their crops and things into the temple, but that went to the priests to feed them and to do things that had to be done. Well, we don't do that today. Today, we just write a check. And that's, but it's for that same purpose, to keep the doors open. So we're getting back to this. So people that are concerned about this, about whether they should keep doing what you were doing. Don't stop what you were doing. If you were tithing, if you were giving money, keep doing it. Now, the medical deduction is still there. I didn't talk about that. Very, very few people write off the medical deduction. For one thing, it's got a base 7.5% of adjusted gross income. It's going to be 10%, but then they're going to get back down to 7.5. They're doing an adjustment. Most people, unless you've had major medical, and I mean major medical, I've had a handful of people hit that, every year, literally a handful. And 1 year it was a lady, both her children needed surgery. So her out-of-pocket was huge that year, and she didn't work very much because of it. So her AGI was down, her bills were up, she hit it. Or you just have people that have just a major medical one-time situation. But that's not something I even plan for or budget for. That's there, in the plan. We don't discuss that. That's there. That hasn't changed on Schedule A. What has changed on Schedule A that is major, to quote my wife, this is very important. Be sure to tell them. Okay, and I may need your help on this to get this out there. Form 2106. Unreimbursed business expenses by an employee. So you're an employee and you do a lot of things that you pay out of pocket. An example of people that I do their taxes, they're a manager of a business and part of their job involves traveling to the different locations. That's unreimbursed. The employer says, look, I don't want the paperwork. I really don't care. I'm paying you this amount of money to do this job. I'm paying you plenty of money to cover the gas, the wear and tear in your car. I don't want to be reimbursing. It's a paperwork nightmare for me. My accountant hates it. So this is what I'm doing. That way the company knows they're going to pay this employee whatever, $50,000 a year. Whereas they're paying them maybe $10,000 more than the job would normally pay, but hey, you're doing all this extra stuff. Okay, so you're this employee and you're driving around and you're doing all that stuff. Well, that mileage, unreimbursed mileage for work, unreimbursed expenses for work, that includes overnight stay in hotels, that includes meals, that includes anything that you're not reimbursed for. That's a requirement of the job. Okay? That goes on Form 2106. They're not doing that anymore. Unreimbursed business expenses are no more. This is, as of my wife says, that's an early release right now. That could change. But for last minute tax planning, for those of you that are counting on this every year, This is a substantial deduction because, it's 53 cents a mile. Per diem, hotel stays, $58, $65, $98, depending on where you stay per night. That's for meals and overnight hotels. I have people that this 2106, Form 2106, unreimbursed business expenses, $15,000, $16,000, $18,000 deduction. Oh yeah, they travel a lot. It's required for their work. They're salaried people, and this will get. Now this is different than people that get a Schedule C, that get a 1099 miscellaneous. That's different. You're a salesman. You're responsible for all your own expenses. The company pays you a commission. That's different. This is for W-2 employees, people who get a salary, people who get, you might be paid hourly, okay? You get a paycheck. It's part of your job requirements. It's not to travel from your house to the office and back to your house. That's included. The IRS says, no, you got to do that to go to work. But now you go from your house to the office, and from there you have to go to 8 other locations as part of your job, or even one other location. That mileage is deductible. Well, as of right now, not anymore. And those of you, or at least my clients, that file Form 2106 and get this, you know who you are. It's something. It is. Oh, the only ones, yes, thank you. That was the other thing. Now, armed forces people, reservists, military people, qualified performing arts, which is a very small population. If you read that, qualified there's a lot of qualifiers on there. Fee-based state and local government officials, of course. Of course, government officials are covered. And impairment-related employees with impairments, those of you that have disabilities, Americans with Disabilities Act people, and they know who they are. This form still applies to you. And that's what we're saying. This is so early release right now, we don't know. But this is big enough. This is big enough that people, if you do Form 2106, please be aware of this. Talk to your tax preparer. We've already reached out to a few of our people. I've reached out to 2 that I know of that get this, and we've talked to them about it. We're letting you know because this could be huge. This could be huge. Let's take our second break. If I haven't lost them yet, they are listening to Gilbert Talks Taxes, WCAB AM. I'll get it out. AM 590, FM 100.9.
People come up to me all the time and say, Gilbert, thank you for doing my tax return. I just got my refund. Any idea what I can do with that refund? Oh, yes, I've got an idea. Call NC Tractor and Farm Supply on Railroad Avenue. Get yourself a brand new Massey Ferguson. You can call Phil at 828-429-5008. And when you're talking to Phil, mention you heard it on Gilbert Talks Taxes. You know what he'll do for you? Absolutely nothing. But me, he's going to give me a discount when I buy my Massey Ferguson. This is Gilbert. I want to tell you about Jesse James Railroad Express at 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton. It's a great place. Jesse's a good friend of mine, and I encourage you to stop by and support him. On Mondays, he's doing a 99-cent hot dog, mustard, chili, and onions. When you go, tell him Mr. Fabulous himself sent you.
We are back. That was fast. That was a short break there. And it was no break. We're here feverishly working behind the scenes, going over our notes. Gilbert Talks Taxes, WCAB. My telephone number, if you need to get me, 828-289-9300. If you're hearing the uncertainty you're hearing in my voice is just the general uncertainty we're all having with this new tax law. There's so many balls up in the air. So I wanted to come back in December and start the program for no other reason than to just get that out there. And I know people have got a lot of plans for the holidays. They've got things coming up. Taxes is the last thing they're thinking about right now. But those of you that are self-employed, those of you that have a tax return beyond the normal, you know who you are. I did a phone conference with a lady. One of the few things I could do with no power at the office, I could at least still get on the phone and talk to people. Had a phone in the cold. Had a phone conference, and she said, "This is a new client to me. What she liked about me was the fact that I was proactive. Told her things that her accountant of many years had not even discussed. She said, this is stuff I need to know now. I said, absolutely. That's why I'm telling you now. She said, my tax return's 100 pages long. I said, I know. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, they have just a lot of little small businesses, that add up to a lot of money at the end of the year. But it's all being done separately. And this is the thing. We don't know how a lot of this is going to play out. And there's another quote. This meeting Congress had is just full of some great quotes came from it. When the member of the NAEA, the National Association of Enrolled Agents, asked members of Congress, because they just had they call it a fly-in in Washington, D.C. They met with Ways and Means, congressmen there, and they got to ask them some questions. So when they said, what's going to be the likely outcome of all this, most of the staffers that are responsible for this in the Ways and Means Committee, most of the staffers just shrugged their shoulders in frustration. They don't know. They don't even know. These are the people designing the hen house, and they don't know. So again, we are coming into an uncertain tax code. Let me get back to 2106. Unreimbursed business expenses, just be aware that is changing. Now, another thing that's out there, and I've heard a lot of misinformation about this. Somebody actually even called me to ask me about this Thursday. They'd heard something and they were in a bit of a panic. Your mortgage deduction, okay, you can deduct interest on your mortgage, okay? You can also deduct your line of credit, whether it's like a HELOC, home equity line of credit, or just a traditional second. We used to just call it a second. If you said, I've got a second, everybody knew what that meant. You've got a second because that's your second mortgage. Well, back many years ago, people took out, when interest rates were very high and then they dropped a lot, people took out second mortgages, lines of credit to pay off credit card debts. They might have had $20,000, $30,000 on a credit card debt at 19%, 17%, whatever. Interest rates came down. They were at 4 or 5%. You could get a second for 4.75 there for a while. Then they even had 0% for 12 months or something. They had great deals they were running. So people took those out to go ahead and liquidate debt, pay for college, whatever, vacations, whatever. And that interest on that was deductible because it was secured by your primary residence, secured by your home. So it qualified as a home equity loan. IRS let you do it. And some of these seconds were huge. I mean, some people had seconds that were bigger than their firsts, especially if they took it out to, say, remodel. Well, okay, so it's been put out there that lines of credit are not deductible. Well, they're not now anymore. Lines of credits are not deductible. But if you have an old line of credit that is deductible, that was deductible, it still is deductible, in spite of what you may have heard, as of Friday at 5 o'clock. Actually, we were looking at it at what time were we looking at this? At midnight. So midnight. Well, I was looking at it at my office at about 3:30. I was looking at this. So it was still deductible. But then it got put out there 2 weeks ago that only the portion that you used to remodel your house or to do work to your house was deductible. Any part that is not is not. Okay, so somebody that took out a second 20 years ago, I mean, I have people that took out a mortgage a year ago and they can't remember the terms. I ask them, what was your interest rate? I don't know. How long have you had this mortgage? I don't know. I mean, you don't remember. It's a very painful experience for most people. So when they leave that lawyer's office, it was just a memory. People say to me, I signed my name a lot. Yes, you did. You signed a lot of papers, and they don't remember. So you're supposed to go back, or you were supposed to go back. Now they're saying, no, if you have an old line of credit, you've been deducting it, just keep deducting it. Okay, right now. New lines of credit going forward are not deductible as of Friday. So if you're considering taking out a line of credit to pay debt, go to school, whatever, the interest is not deductible. So how big a deal is this? It could be. I mean, if you're over, again, you get back to standard deduction, $25,000 married filing joint, $12,000 single. If you go over, it could be a big deal. If you're under it, it doesn't matter. It's a moot point. So, the phone is ringing. They are calling. This is the one. I can tell the phone's ringing. Mortgage line of credits. Yeah. Many people have them. Now, I don't have one. I had one at one point, got it to do a little remodeling project. And a lot of people did those. And if you remember, people forget this. During the Jimmy Carter years, we had home interest rates that were double digit, pushing 20%. There were people with 16.9% mortgages. Oh yeah, that's one of the reasons Ronald Reagan got elected. It was interest rates were ridiculous. Credit card interest rate was through the roof. I mean, 38%. So people avoided that. So what happened is there were people with these 14.9s and 17.9s interest rates, 21.9, and when Reagan becomes president, interest rates drop. I remember interest rates being 8%. And people thinking that was the best thing that ever happened. Today, 8%, you'd be like, that's ridiculous. 5% is bad. I'm working with several people. I had 3 yesterday in my office that are buying homes and wanting me to look at their mortgage paperwork. I had 3. That's really a lot. That's abnormal. They're trying to get something going before the end of the year. So I had 3 come in, and 4.25. 3.75 on a 10-year fixed, and the other one was they quoted her 4.25, and then when they sent her the paperwork, said 4.75. She called them and said, "Wait a minute," and the guy says, "Well, we were anticipating it to go up." She said, "No, thank you." And they go, "Well, wait a minute, we'll honor that 4.25." So that's the rates now. So people refinanced, big time. People refinancing and getting seconds and doing things. A lot of those loans are still out there. If this happened late 80s, early 90s on a 30-year fixed, you've still got these loans out there. And some of these people have refinanced these loans and taken more money out. So these original notes are still floating out there. So this could be a huge thing. We don't know what it's going to do yet, but be aware. This we do know. Mortgage lines of credit going forward are not deductible. Before we take our next break, yes, disaster relief. We are in a disaster zone. Now, FEMA denied. You remember the big storm that killed 3 people in Polk County? FEMA denied disaster status to parts of Polk County. I don't know if it's the whole county or parts. Parts of Rutherford County also. I'm sorry? So we've had a lot of disasters hit from different areas. So just be aware and see where you're at. There's actually a website that FEMA operates, disaster assistance. It's a .gov website. Is it all one word, lowercase? Yes. Disasterassistance.gov. You go there, put in your zip code, and you will see if you're in a declared disaster area. And there is some, I'm not going to get into it because people say, oh, Gilbert said we'd get $500. I don't know. But there are, so yeah, Jay's got his phone out. How do you spell disaster? Jay, there are some things out there. And for some people, it's, extensions on filing your taxes, extensions on tax payments, which could be major. There's people that they've lost things. Listen, being without power for 4 days, I really saw it at my office. I couldn't access any of our digital files. Now, through the normal way, I mean, I have other ways. We do cloud-based backup. There's a lot of things we do. But for the people that weren't prepared or don't think this way, they got stuck. And there's this can affect a lot of things. So go to disasterassistance.gov and put in your zip code and see where you're at. But I was really surprised by that FEMA declaration. how could that not be a disaster? 2 people were killed. I'm sorry, 2 people were killed in a van driving down the road. A tree, just from the ground being so saturated and the wind, knocked a gigantic tree over and hit their car right as they were driving by, killed them. And another person died. I believe they also were hit by debris. I can't remember. The mudslide. Yes, they were killed by the mudslide in the house, right? They were in a house. So, I mean, a mudslide and the houses slid off their foundations. FEMA, how is this not a disaster? What is the classification of a disaster? And our Governor Cooper went to bat, appealed it, but we still lost. And he did not. So I don't think there's anything they can do at this point. And there's no aid at the local level because it's all FEMA based. So, but anyway, so be aware of that. I'm gonna say it one more time: disasterassistance.gov. Go there. Question: Social Security only, does he have to file? I get this question all the time. That has not changed. If you're only getting, well, what happens is with the standard deduction, it's not that you don't have to file, because I don't want to say if you're on Social Security you don't have to file, because there are people on Social Security that have other kinds of income. So it's your income, but Social Security only. That person asked the question correctly. Good. You're a good question asker, the person that called. Social Security income only, do you have to file? The answer is no. Because when we get done putting in your income, doing your adjustments, and applying your standard deduction, you are below, your taxable income is now 0. So you have 0. Now, I do know people that still file a tax return, even though it's 0. Why would you file a tax return, Jay, even if it's 0? Can you think of a reason? I talk about you, and you said it earlier. Think about what you asked me earlier. Why would you file? No, and everybody, yeah, that's why people file. Thank you, Jay. Jay just said what 90% of America would have said. To get I file a tax return to get a refund. No, wrong answer. You file a tax return, even if you have 0, you owe nothing, you're getting nothing back. Why would you file a tax return? Identity theft and fraud, you want to lock that Social Security down, especially if you've been the victim of identity theft. Somebody could be using your Social Security number and you don't even know it. This has happened. They put down that they're a grandparent and they have 13 dependent grandchildren that they support on their $30,000 income, and they get a huge refund. And they're using these people's, and they never get caught because the people aren't filing tax returns because they get Social Security. So that would be the only reason. But do you have to file one? No, you do not. If your taxable income is 0 or you get a refund, you are not under any law, or you're not obligated by the law to file a tax return. Is there any other income? Pensions, retirement income, dividend income. Even a little bit of dividend income is income. Is it going to push you over the threshold? That's the question. I have people that call me every year and they send me the information. They want me to look. Most of them are under it, but so they don't have to. But again, you may want to. That's a conversation you need to have, especially if you're an older person, if you've got a trust or an estate set up, or you've got a beneficiary. You may want to look into that. Let's go ahead and take this last break. And I've only scratched the surface of everything I didn't have to talk about. Gilbert Talks Taxes, WCAB 590 AM, FM 100.9.
As we get ready for this year's tax season, there's one thought on everyone's mind. Will Gilbert's hair look fabulous this year? Oh, yes, it will. How can I say that? Because I go to Robin Saunders at RSL Salon. Whether it's a good haircut, a pedicure, or a manicure, you can count on RSL Salon. Call Robin at 828-289-9110 because everyone deserves to look fabulous. This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300.
This is Gilbert Talks Taxes. We are back. Those of you live streaming us, www.wcab59.com. I want to thank Todd. It looks great, the work you've done. You too, Jay. But he's got that thing looking great. You can see my tie and my hair looks fabulous. It's wonderful. If you need me, my telephone number is 828-289-9300, and we will be keeping regular office hours the next 2 weeks, especially since we were closed 4 days last week. We are so behind, but that's okay. We're getting caught up, and we're just moving forward. But we are going to be open, and if you've got last-minute tax planning questions, I will be on the air next Saturday and the following Saturday. Oh, yes, we will be on the air. You're looking perplexed there. You're looking at the calendar. We're good. We will be back the 21st and the 28th, and there are last-minute things you can do. I'm going to talk about those next week. I'm going to talk a lot about last minute, especially if you own a business. Some last minute things you can do. I have people that are buying equipment the last couple of days. They see we get a hold of see where they're at and see where they need to spend their money. Okay, so to wrap up the last 10 minutes, I just want to say this. I don't know. I just found this to be really interesting, and it pertains to taxes. So Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is a brand name. It is not all Bitcoin. There is a Bitcoin. There's also all these other products. It's all cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is digital currency. It exists nowhere but inside of a computer. It is an algorithm. It is a complicated mathematical equation that somehow has value. I don't know how. In Japan, they're using it as currency more and more. They're actually buying stuff with it. They're actually being paid with it. In the United States, it's kind of everybody's been taking a wait and see. People have actually been investing in it. The SEC has made a lot of rules about this, and what it is and what it isn't. So just interesting, Ohio, the state of Ohio, is now accepting, and other than reading the news release, that's all I really know right now. I'd like to see where this goes, and I'd like to read about the details. But the state of Ohio is now accepting cryptocurrency to pay your taxes. What's important about that is that I'm aware of, they're the first government agency to accept it as legal tender. So, and that makes it important, because if other states follow suit, and we will see. It is, I can go on about it. A lot's been written about it. We do not consider it a commodity. I don't even, when it's in tax planning, it just goes on the back. It's to me, it's below collectibles on the asset list. Collectibles that, toy collection that they've had for 45 years that they somehow think is worth something. Well, it's really not. It's really not in the real world. To you it is. And you may, with the advent of eBay and Amazon and Etsy, people are selling these things for huge amounts of money. Granted, so that is real, but it's not a fixed asset that I know in an estate plan what it's worth. And it has a real currency, a real value. That's what I look for when I do tax planning. It's got to be, it's got to be hard like this desk. Can I not? And that's the thing. And it's not. But interesting, and it's something worth watching. So, okay. I'm going to talk about the last subject here. As of Friday, they've got rid of exemptions. Okay, so I talked about standard deduction. Got that. It's doubled. It's $24,000 for married filing jointly, $18,000 for head of household, $12,000 for single filers. Okay, so it's doubled. But the government gives, the government takes. They got rid of exemptions. Exemptions. That comes on your tax return, the old tax return. That comes right under standard deduction. Exemptions. You used to get $4,050 for each dependent. You get it for yourself and your spouse. So if there were 4 people, husband, wife, 2 children, 4 people, 4 exemptions, you get an additional $16,050 deduction on your taxable income. That is gone. Okay, we're not doing that anymore. Oh, I know, Jay. So that is gone. So then the question becomes, do I even need to put these children on my tax return? Because why do you need them? Yes. Number one, the child tax credit. That's still there, and that's actually been doubled. Child tax credit has been doubled. Okay, where it used to be $1,000, it's now $2,000. Earned income tax credit is still there. What they've done is we have fewer tax brackets. Tax brackets are lower, and the numbers have been spread out. Okay, so we have a 10%, a 12%, where it used to be 10, 15, 25, 28, 33, 35, and to 30, the highest being 39.6. There's now a 10, a 12, a 22, a 24. The brackets are just breaking better. A 32, now there still is the 35, and then the highest tax bracket is a 37%, but that's at 600,000 and above, whereas before it was at 480. Now, and these numbers are statistical. Certain percentages break at these numbers. So this is really very important where the numbers are breaking. So we have a lower tax bracket overall. You're in a lower tax bracket at a higher income overall, but now we don't have these exemptions anymore. So you've got standard income. I'm so sorry. You've got the standard deduction, so we don't have the exemptions. Should we still claim the children? Yes. The first reason, of course, for the credits. The second reason is, again, I just said it, ID theft. It locks those Social Security numbers down. You know that nobody's using them. They are your dependent. They are your exemption. It's still there. And to further confuse the topic even more, they're still using the exemptions for some of the behind-the-scenes math. I know, Jay. I know. They're still using it for behind-the-scenes math, yes. That doesn't apply to everybody, but it still will apply to some people. So don't stop, even though you're losing those exemptions. You're still going to declare, you're still going to put those dependents on there, especially the children that you're getting credits for. Even people that make too much money to get the credits because you phased out, because, earned income tax credit phases out at 50-something thousand, so you don't get that, and child tax credit phases out at 188 and above, you don't get that. Those phase outs, you're still putting them in a tax return. We're still locking those Social Security numbers down. Okay, so don't change that. As of Friday, okay, I'm going to keep saying as of Friday. Very good news. And that all is good news. And the bottom line, I've got 3 minutes left. Be sure to give me the 1 minute finger, okay? Okay. Overall, the good news. We've, crunched tax returns. Overall, most people are getting back a refund. The 90% of the people that would have been their answer, Jay, get a refund. You're getting back a refund. You're getting back a bigger refund if everything is the same as last year in all the ones we've crunched. Or the same. Very, very few, in very few scenarios, are people owing money based on these changes. I heard the media was reporting that people are going to owe all this money. No, that's not the scenario. What they're referring to, and you may have seen this, is that people adjusted their W-2 withholding based on the lower tax rate. Yes, people did that. They adjusted their withholding, and now they're not withholding enough. So that is a real concern we have from some that we've seen. So going in where you may have gotten a $2,000 refund or a $1,500 refund, you may owe $400 or $500. Why? Because you didn't withhold enough. Not because your tax bracket, not because of Trump, not because of the law. You just didn't withhold enough. You're still paying less tax. It happened 3 years ago when North Carolina redid their taxes, and human resource departments didn't inform their employees that everybody needs to get in here and redo their NC4. Some did. And then when they went in to redo them, they said, oh, just put down what you put down on the Fed. No, there was a whole new formula. So people that from North Carolina would have gotten, and I probably had 200 of these in my office, maybe more. You lose track. 1 minute left. You lose track. Where the year before they got back $300, $400, that year they owed $300 or $400. I mean, not the end of the world, but that was the why. It's not that your taxes went up, it's that you didn't withhold enough. Go to irs.gov, irs.gov. Look for the W-2 tool and see what you're withholding. It's called the withholding calculator, the W-2 tool withholding calculator. Look at that and put your numbers in and see if you were withholding enough. The tool, you might want to adjust that. You can always give me a call, 828-289-9300. Last bit of good news, tax mileage rates for deduction for next year, they're up 3 cents. We're up to 58 cents a mile. This is major. You people, self-employed people that write off your mileage, we're up to 20 cents for medical. This is for tax year 2019. So next year, this is big. If you track your mileage, I'm going to talk about that next week. How to keep records of your mileage. I've done that before. I'm going to do it next week because the IRS is very picky. And this is a big number. This could really, it's really going to help a lot of people. So that's good news. I'm done. I'm out of time. Gilbert Talks Taxes right here on WCAB. I'll be back next Saturday at 8 a.m.
Good Saturday morning. Grab your rain gear again today. Showers remain likely before lunchtime, and then the chance for a shower will linger into the later part of today. Cloudy skies keep high temperatures in the upper 40s to mid-50s today. We are still expecting some patchy fog this morning. Patchy fog likely to redevelop overnight, as well as some areas of drizzle tonight. Low temperatures overnight falling into the 40s. We're back in the 50s tomorrow with some peaks of sunshine and a slight chance of a shower. I'm Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
I'm back in the saddle again, out where a friend is a friend, where the longhorn cattle feed on the lowly Jemson weed. I'm back in the saddle again, riding the range once more, toting my old 44, where you sleep out every night and the only law is right. Back in the saddle again, whoopee-tie-I-oh, rocking to and fro. Back in the saddle again, whoopee-tie-I, I go my way. Back in the saddle again. I'm back in the saddle again, out where a friend is a friend, where the longhorn cattle feed on the lowly Jemson weed. I'm back in the saddle again, riding the range once more, toting my old 44, where you sleep out every night and the only law is right. Back in the saddle again, whoopee-tie-I-oh, rocking to and fro. Back in the saddle again, whoopee-tie-I, I go my way. Back in the saddle again.
The Old West is a time and place of the heart. Welcome everyone to another educational hour on Chronicle of the Old West Weekly Edition. the country's #1 radio show that's dedicated to the history of our American West. And it's the best of the West. I'm your guide for the hour and the radio voice of the Old West, Dakota Livesay. You're invited to come along with me on a journey into the Old West. We'll ride Mustang ponies, round up some cattle, and then reflect on our day's experience around the campfire. Come along with me to a time of wild men and strong women. Each year, Sunny, my wife, and I ring the bell for the Salvation Army, and we're going to be doing it again in a few days. We'll be doing it in front of Walmart. Sunny and I get intrigued with the reaction of people as they walk by us on their way into Walmart. There are those who smile as they go by and say hi, and we say, "Merry Christmas." They may or may not put money in the bucket. Then there are those